And a quick look at our rules of combat based on 3 5-minute rounds and, of course, 5 5-minute rounds for championship bouts. And, of course, in the amateur division, that changed to 3 3-minute rounds. And, of course, 5 3-minute rounds for championship bouts in the amateur division. It's based on the 10-point must system, judging criteria. And to get things started, we'll go ahead and throw it to the cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the lightweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, Sensei Cecil Peebles. Introducing first in our Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, official weight 154 pounds. He represents the TMH Pro Boxing Gym. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hawthorne, Nevada, presenting Dakota Eldridge. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall. Official weight 154.6 pounds. He represents Torres MMA Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, from Thousand Oaks, California, presenting Ray Ace Ostrander.
Coming out, standing a little bit taller, seems to be a little bit more comfortable. These guys are a little quicker, a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, a little better head movement, stepping in with that quick jab. A little more calm, knows exactly what they're doing. There's a nasty outside leg kick from Ostrander. Dakota Eldridge seemed to walk right through that, but they pay dividends later on. Those guys are still trying to find that range. And there's a nasty leg kick from Eldridge. And there's a nice jab, Eldridge right down the middle. And there's a double jab overhand right. Ostrander a little confused by that. Double jab, overhand right again. 1, 2, 3, 4 coming in. Ostrander closing the distance. Both guys eating jabs. It looks like Eldridge got the best of that. Ray with just some outside over-the-top hooks. Dakota with the single plum, now working the body. Ostrander in there with some knee, doing a good job of backing off that cage. Uppercut from Eldridge. Dakota Eldridge just slipping, moving, good uppercut. There's that jab. Gets eyed with a left finger. Calls a stop himself. Let's take a look at that. Eldridge circling. And there's that open hand, kind of a push jab. Unintentional. Dakota's ready to go. 1 minute left, first round. Ray's out here jabbing and marching forward again with those wide punches. Ostrander's really clean. Ray's going to have to be careful with that. Bombing uppercuts, just letting him go. Trying to pull guard. Eldridge with that choke. Let it go, but look to recapture that. 30 seconds left. Let's see if he has enough time. That could be in there deep. Ray may be in a little bit of trouble here. 24 seconds. These amateurs can't hang on for very long, trying to pound his way out of that. And that arm looks to be going limp. Finding a little bit of air, 10 seconds left. Is he going to be able to make this through? Oh yeah, he's fine right now. He's making this for sure. And that's a good quality first round for both guys. Let's take a look at this replay. Good head movement. Overhand right over that lazy jab of Osterlander. Cody just being physical on the inside. Ray throwing a bunch of wide punches. That might sting him at the end. Here we go, round two. That was an exciting first round. This guy just kind of sending those rangefinders out there. Aggressive. Ray's coming in aggressive again. Just waiting for Cody to set his feet and fire that straight right down the pipe. Eldridge going with the karate style now. Giving up his back. Good solid takedown. Half guard now, trying to go to work. Ray's in a good position here to put pressure on that head, get his hands off the mat. Good with a good job trapping those arms. Back to full guard now. Let's see if Ray can do anything with this. And there's a stand-up. Cecil's not having it tonight. There's that lazy overhand looping right again. Kota just needs to set his feet and let that straight right fly. Working that takedown. Looked like he had it. I don't know what happened right there. Good pressure here by Dakota. Not doing a heck of a lot with it though. Stepping off, tries to throw that straight right, barely missing. A big straight right catches him, but slipping underneath here again. Good takedown. It's more of Dakota pulling guard than a takedown. Has that choke set in there again, but one arm in, that's hard to finish. Popping his head out slowly. See if Ray can go to work with 12 seconds left. Bashing away with that right hand. Both guys looking a little tired after this second round. Let's take a look. Trying to go karate style, closing the distance. Ray takes the back. Thought he was going to be able to settle in on that, but not too much. Looping punches, closing the distance here. Nice knee on the inside, uppercut. Eldridge just being sneaky. Sneaky knee on the inside. But a couple, you got to credit Ray with a couple take. Third and final round. Somebody needs to do something here. Good knee up the middle. Could have been more aggressive, but marching forward here. Ray kind of shaking it off. Side kick, check nicely. Little jab, misses, straight right, catches. Love to see him follow up, but Ray just walked through that. I'm going with his takedown right now. Oh, and there's a good takedown here. Let's see if Eldridge could do anything with that. Trying to set up that guard. Looks like he has a little jiu-jitsu to work with. Ray's not doing too much. Trying to pass right here. To kick that right leg down, put pressure on that leg and step over. And that's it. Cecil's had enough of that. Don't you guys have 90 seconds? Who wants this? A little 1-2, barely misses. Went for the full plumb. I thought Eldridge was going to have a little something there. But good pressure from Ray up against the fence. Looks like that guillotine might be in there a little deeper than we think. Unable to pull guard, pops his head out. Ray's going to work now. Under a minute left, bashing away. Trying to step over, finally stepping around, 40 seconds. Cody's corner begging him to move. Unable to get off his back right here, trapping. Try to step over, but step back into half guard. Ray needs to post up, put pressure on, bash away. Final few seconds, bashing away now. Could possibly be winning this fight. Let's take a look at this replay. Side kick, little jab. Looked like Dakota may have won the stand-up, but Ray obviously was putting enough pressure with these takedowns, and they seem to score more points. Constant pressure, knees, not a lot of damage, was never really threatening, but just that pressure was relentless. And there's a good, solid single leg pick. Just bashing away, doing enough not to get stood up.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of lightweight action here in Reno, Nevada, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge A scores this bout 29-28 in favor of Ostrander. Judge B, 29-28, Eldridge. And finally, Judge C, 29-28 for your winner by split decision from Thousand Oaks, California, Ray Ace Ostrander. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Casino Resort, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the lightweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, David Shirley. Introducing first in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, official weight 155 pounds. He represents Team Unbreakable and trains out of Concord, California. Ladies and gentlemen, from Pittsburgh, California, presenting Namon Taylor. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 11 inches tall. Official weight 145.8 pounds. He represents the Reno Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, from Reno, Nevada, by way of Uzbekistan, presenting Kaysar Saulibayev.
Round one. Taylor and Kaiser coming out at first fight for both of these guys. Taylor coming out with that southpaw style. Kaiser immediately in for the shot, gets stuffed, but relentless on that. Trying to take that single leg. Taylor had some balance there. Kaiser doing a great job of collecting that leg, settling down here into side control. And there he goes, bashing away, now taking the back, almost had a hook in. Right now is the time for Taylor to get out of there and turn back in him, but it's too late. Single hook in here, trying to set up this choke, bashing away, has double hooks in, getting him flattened out. Taylor's in all kinds of trouble right now. Trying to sit out of that, does sit out of it. Just eating punches, but doing a good job of defending that choke. Taylor clearing legs, really patient. Either trying to get that choke in there. That looks to be a little bit deeper. That's a good adjustment with the legs. 2-on-1, Taylor defending properly, trying to pull him down over the top. For a kid who doesn't have any fights, he's been defending, and that went in there tight. In a little bit of trouble now. That turns into a lot of bit of trouble. This could be over. Doing a good job of just ripping those hands out of there. Taylor with just beautiful defense, but you just cannot defend over and over and over without it going absolutely wrong for you. Stepping over on the knee on the belly, a little bit of mistake. Taylor following him up, getting to his knees. Slowly taking the back, gets both hooks in again. That was quick and nasty. Taylor just doing a good job of just an onslaught of offense from Kaiser. Taylor turning into him. Now Taylor's on top. Kaiser trying to set up that high guard. It's a great trap, trying to get his left leg out of there, possibly set up a triangle. But Taylor with good defense. 16 seconds left. On top, Taylor could end this round on top. Fought off with some really valiant chokes. And round one comes to an end. Let's take a look at this replay. Kaiser just bashing away. All kinds of choke offense. Great body position here. Taylor did a great job of defending, but just consistent offense. Let's see what we have for round two. Kaiser marching forward with that stiff offense, eats a looping left, switches to southpaw position. There's a leg kick, front push kick here. Taylor just throwing a high kick, barely misses. Kaiser closing the distance again, and here he is, trying to work these takedowns once again. Working this single leg, Kaiser putting in work. Trying to trap it up, switching it up to a double. Taylor with really good defense right now. And as soon as I say that, just a sneaky move by Kaiser. tripping that outside leg. Kaiser starting this round on top, and this kid's jiu-jitsu and his top game is tricky. This choke game was tricky. Taylor defended well, but you cannot continue to defend, and expect yourself to get out of it. And here we go again. Taylor again with the Kaiser on his back, defending hands. You defend hands long enough, something bad's going to happen. You cannot keep flirting with fire. You'll eventually get burned, especially with this kid's jiu-jitsu. He's patient, not forcing it, taking what Taylor's giving him, just controlling back position. Taylor trying to clear those legs. But as he's doing so, then he has to clear the arms, doing a good job. Now Taylor on top. Needs to be careful in this transition, and that's what he needs to do. Just bashing away and soften Kaiser's offense up. Trying to set up a triangle. Gonna move that over to arm bars. Lets that go. Pushing off. Taylor gets to his feet, coming rushing back in. Kaiser just gives him a shoulder. Making Taylor defend the takedown again. Not defending it very well. Kaiser's gonna just suck him out, get his hips out from underneath there. Gently putting his mouthpiece back in. Seconds, Taylor's corner just begging him to get back up. Kaiser doing a good job of turning the corner, getting him flat, and that counts as a takedown. Let's take a look at that refund. There's a good high kick. The replay, Kaiser walks straight through that, sucks that leg up, continues with that takedown. Keeping his distance here a little bit better is Taylor, not overcommitting. Throwing that lazy kick. Another lazy kick. Allowing Kaiser to close the distance. Barely misses with that knee. Kaiser a little awkward stance. There's that lazy kick, looping overhand right just to close the distance. I'm sorry, looping overhand left. Again, trying to defend with the choke. Eventually ending up on the ground as always. Taylor continuing to hold on to that neck like he has a choke, but he needs to get his left knee out of there, regain guard, or at least be able to get back to his feet. Kaiser doing a good job of not letting him get that left leg out of there. The patience of Kaiser, just waiting, putting enough pressure, knows for sure he's not in trouble, and knowing for sure Taylor's going to eventually let that neck go. Just patient, going knee on the belly, creating pressure, putting the decision back into Taylor's court. Either deal with this knee on the belly, making it uncomfortable, stretching him out. Now stepping over. It doesn't look like much pressure, but Kaiser has a ton of pressure. knee on the belly, just driving those hips flat. Now steps over, going to work. Taylor in all kinds of trouble. Giving up his back. Going back to the mount. Just beautiful hits from Krazy, just working and dominating. Just absolutely smashing this round out. Stepping over into that head arm. Trying to finish with 15 seconds left. And there's the bell. Looked like the bell was a little bit late, but I'll tell you what, Krazy just dominated that round. Beautiful top position. Let's take a look at it again. Thought Taylor was going to come out and be more aggressive with his stand-up. It's hard to be aggressive going backwards. Closing the distance well here. Krazy grabs that single leg, switches it up. Eventually pulls the leg out and gets cross-eyed and goes to work. What a great fight. Krazy with just some nice ground and pound here at the end, just smashing away. Just relentless with that top position.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of lightweight action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge A scores this bout 30-26, while judges B and C score it 30-27. All 3 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Kaisa Saulebayev. Ladies and gentlemen, from Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the lightweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, Cecil Peoples. Introducing first in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, official weight 155.4 pounds. He represents Sabotage MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, from Redding, California, presenting Chris Hammerfist Marinelli. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 156.2 pounds. He represents Torres MMA Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, from San Bernardino, California, presenting Sir Mosley.
Go. Marinelli with the black pants, Rousey coming out with the red shorts, and these guys are coming out aggressive, throwing bombs. This is Sean Canova along with Steve Enman commentating, as you know. And there's a beautiful shot right there. Mosley slips under that high kick, snatches up that rear leg, but immediately gets swept. Marinelli in half guard now. Marinelli going to work just a little bit, working the midsection. Mosley just holding. Needs to take that right hand, push that right knee away. Turning the wrong way here. Now he turns into him, forces himself up. Caught in a little bit of a choke. He could be in trouble here. He's going to have to defend this thing. control. Let's see if we can snap him down. Good knees up the middle. Rousey's gonna have to get out of here. Possibly swim to his left. Tries to grab that single leg. Popping his head out. That's a good job by Mosley. And there's a sneaky left uppercut by Marinelli on the way out. Mosley marching in forward with his head down. Needs to be careful of that, but now he has good pressure up against the cage. Knee up the middle. Mosley with some short knees. Backing off of the cage here, Marinelli. And there's a sneaky takedown by Mosley. Now taking the back, single hook in. Should have tried to get that other hook in. Marinelli turned in the corner here, trying to work this single leg. Just needs to switch that up. Goes the opposite way, grabs the leg with his own legs, trying to pull him away from the cage. Great balance here by Mosley. Now he has his head on the right side. And there's a good takedown. And immediately trying to take down of his own. Mosley back up on top. And that's an action-packed round one. Let's take a look at this replay. Kick checked, high kick check. Watch this quickness of this shot. Boom, times it beautifully. Great takedown, but a little bit too aggressive. Another sneaky takedown by Mosley. Never really able to establish that position though. Round two, here we go. Mosley and Marinelli coming out. Second of 3 rounds. Both guys walk out really slow. Mosley took like 2 steps. Came to the center of the cage and says, come on, come get some. Shoots a 1-2. Marinelli way outside, not even close with those punches. Goes high kick again, steps in. Going 1-2, closing the distance. Chris Marinelli. Half plumb, lets that go. Tries that leg trip and ends up getting taken down himself. A half butterfly guard. Has Mosley off balance. Trying to roll on the knee bar. Attacking the right leg now. Mosley using that to get up top. Needs to be careful of that heel hook. Letting it go entirely. Harry Mosley, now he's in all kinds of trouble, getting bashed to the stomach. Using that leg to try and get back up, just bum rushing in is Marinelli. Marinelli steps over into the mount position. Mosley gets in a little bit of trouble. Marinelli just bashing away. Just sitting up, no pressure at all. Trying to end this thing right now. Marinelli. See, so people have enough of that. Go and stand up. Looked like Marinelli was going to be able to finish this thing. Cecil calls him in, and both guys don't do a damn thing. Just stand there and watch. Cecil goes, what are you doing? Get to fighting. Digging a left hook to the body. Marinelli just smashing. And here we go, looping wide hooks. Marinelli getting a little sloppy. There's a spinning kick to the midsection. Snatching up that leg. Marinelli working for this takedown. Looked like he had it for a second. 20 seconds left. Is he going to be able to finish? Gets a half takedown, trying to get back to his feet. Moser trying to bash the ribs. Let's take a look at this replay. Quick jab to the underarm of Moser. Overhand right, left hook, looping. Misses by a mile. Good jab up the middle from Harry. Take a look at this takedown at the end. Not quite finished. Marnelli working really hard for it. Just can't find the right angle. And the third and final round coming up. Chris Marnelli, Harry Moser march to the center of the cage, and here we go. Overhand 1-2, good slip, doesn't make him pay. Body clinch here by Marnelli. And there's a great takedown. Straight into the mount position. Marnelli putting in work. Just holding on for dear life. Marnelli gonna just post up out of this hold. Good hips. Moser trying to get out of there. Not quite. Didn't have enough effort. Just getting smashed now. Marnelli just bashing away. Moser just trapping right now, trying to use the cage to his advantage. Can't get off of the cage. Marnelli bashing outside the arms to the ears. Sends one up the middle. Trying to fake. There you go, just bashing away. Not really defending. Caesar's gonna stop this thing. He continues to punch. Not really doing much, trapping to the outside. These aren't doing damage, but you've got to be able to defend. And that's not an intelligent defense. That's an intelligent defense. Slipping out the back door, doing a great job of saving himself. Those are in just a bad position again. Single hook in, trying to get that second hook in, has a choke in there. Trying to flatten him out, goes to the back, that's in there deep, that's it, that's a tap. Chris Marnelli finally finishes Moser. That's more of an exhaustion tap. Let's look at this takedown. Great takedown. Good patience by Marnelli. Looked like he could have possibly finished it right here. Those punches aren't doing too much damage, but just enough to get Marnelli to force Moser into giving up his back, and that he does. What a great finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 2 minutes and 2 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by tap out from a rear naked choke, Chris Hammerfist Marinelli. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the junior flyweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, David Shirley. Introducing first, in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 125.2 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, from Nevada City, California, presenting Alex Mosier. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 8 inches tall. Official weight, 126.2 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, from Las Vegas, Nevada, presenting Chris
we go. Chris Nim, Alec Mosier. Nim comes out, throwing a wild kick. And look at the quickness of these kids. High kick. There's been about 40, 50 punches going on here, and these guys are so fast. Exchanging kicks. And 1, 2, 3 comes in. Mim pushes him off. Good solid leg kick. Overhand right. Min comes in with the overhand right of his own. Left hook, straight right. And boy, I'll tell you what, these guys are on fire. Mosier catches Mim with an overhand right. Mim pushes off, catches him with an overhand right, hands down. Mosier comes just walking in. Gives him the fake Ali roundabout, but Mim comes back with a 1-2, slides out, eat a kick on his way out. And that's a good check by Mosier right there. Absolutely square. Mim needs to get off of that cage. And big knee, there's a good chopping left, overhand right. Mosier just putting in work. 90 seconds left. Min could be hurt. And throws a nasty left hook straight right, but barely misses. And a good chopping leg kick by Mim. Eats a high kick. Falls into a choke. One minute left. It's really hard to finish this with one arm in. Chris Min knows he's in a little bit of trouble here, protecting his position, doing a good job of staying on his feet, finally getting it to the ground, pushing forward now with a little better position for this choke. Mosier needs to pull that arm out. On the way out, a couple 1-2. Mosier with a looping left, straight right. Chopping away, eats a left hook for Min. Min switches stance, throws a low kick, side push kick that went low. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's aggressive action going on there. And it looks like we're going to call this fight. It's one of those things that happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to an accidental strike, the blue corner is no longer able to continue this evening. The official time, 2 minutes, 40 seconds, round one. This fight goes into the books as a no contest. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the welterweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, Cecil Peoples. Introducing first in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 165.8 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, from Junction City, Oregon, presenting Cordero Hardcore Cord Floyd. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 6 feet 2 inches tall. Official weight 169.4 pounds. He represents Standalone MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheridan, Oregon, presenting Jimmy Coltrane Dixon.
A big kick right out of the gate. Floyd comes in, finds himself in some trouble. Dixon trying to set this choke up. That is in there deep. Floyd's in all kinds of trouble in the first 10 seconds. And that's it. Out cold. Out cold. Floyd jumps into Dixon's guard and just out cold. Bashing away, trying to get to his knees. But Jimmy Dixon sets in a nasty choke right out of the gate, and that thing went in there deep, and it went in there like he meant it, and it was lights out for Cordero Ford.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 15 seconds, round 1. Your winner by tap out due to a guillotine, Jimmy Coltrane Dixon. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this 3-round bout in the junior flyweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, David Shirley. Introducing first, in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 125.8 pounds. He represents Team Alpha Male. Ladies and gentlemen, from Fresno, California, presenting Mark the Wolf Word. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall. Official weight 125.4 pounds. He represents the Reno Academy of Combat. Ladies and gentlemen, from Reno, Nevada, presenting Brando Amaro.
Round 1 with Worth and Amaro. And finally standing up, Amaro comes out. Goes to the high kick with that left southpaw stance. Mark Worth with a little bit more range. And good body kicks being exchanged here. High kick checked. That thing comes out quick and it comes out nasty. Worth good head movement. Inside leg kick. Both guys exchanging kicks right there. Kind of neutralized. Brando Amaro just marching forward. Good inside kick. Goes high kick. Boy, these things are going fast and they're cracking. Counter right hand. Worth setting that up. Moving properly. Tries to shoot that right hand, pulls it back. Overhand right, barely missing. Eating a right hand check hook from Amaro on the inside. Amaro switching it up, going single leg. Worth with a half plum. Uses his height to his advantage. Sneaky uppercut from Amaro. Good cage work. Moro slipping on the outside, but eats a knee. Worth just barely misses with that overhand right. 1 minute, 25 seconds left. Inside leg kick, but an overhand right as a counter from Worth. And a nice straight right counter from Worth, right up the gut. Textbook technique right there. Straight right down the pipe. That's your punch when fighting a southpaw. Step to your left. We teach that all day. It's the hardest thing in the world to do though. And another one straight right. Mark Worth finding a home for that straight right. Trying to dig that single leg out of there. Moro doing a good job of getting that leg out of there. Now in trouble. There's a good double. Gently sets him down. Knows what he wants to do. We're trying to pass. Doing a good job of keeping that guard there. Moro trying to set up some jiu-jitsu. Trying to set the armbar up here. Good transition with no space. Has that armbar in there. And jumping over immediately. Worth with good defense. Quick jab. A straight right. That's that Worth straight right that found us home 3 or 4 times. Moro finally closing the distance here. Mark Worth doing a great job in that round, keeping his reign. Round 2, here we go. Mark Worth, Brando Amaro. First round was pretty even. Worth really found a home for that straight right though. 1, 2, 3, and there's a good knee to the rib cage. Worth being aggressive in there. Snatching again, going with that double. That's exactly what happened in the first round. Needs to be careful here. Amaro had some offense going off of the cage with not a lot of room to work. Trying to set up that heel hook. Amaro playing around with those legs. That's a tough position to do where there's no room and the guy's bashing you. Doing a good job of trying to switch this up. Brando Amaro trying to switch it up to a double of his own. Mark Worth back to his feet though, immediately. Worth doing a good job of digging those underhooks. And there's a good knee up the middle. Trying to dig that underhook again. Brando trying to suck those hips up. Good white base from Worth. Doesn't seem like it does much, but turned wide on him, and Brando just couldn't get his arms around him and low enough. Good job snapping the head down is Worth. Worth just bashing away. Brando had an opportunity to stand up, but to no avail. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. Worth now establishing that half guard, good pressure on the head. Now he's really in a dominant position. Brando needs to get out of here. And again, setting up the armbar, trying to trap that thing in there. Fending it off. I say it all the time. You can't keep defending. Eventually it's going to catch up to you. Back to side control. Good neck pressure. Worth is crafty as well. Really needs to get aggressive here and soften him up. Trying to get back to his feet. When you're not punches and doing damage, you basically let the guy on the back dictate pace, and now you're making him defend those punches, which eliminates virtually all of his jiu-jitsu or his ability to get up off of the canvas. soon as I say that, turns the corner. Brando Armando tries a single leg of his own. Gets back to his feet, misses with that straight left. And we're back to this scrap again. Let's take a look at these highlights. Morrow moves really well, but steps in and eats that knee. Good offense there from the ground, but not quite enough. Third and final round. Both of these guys are contenders right here at 125 pounds. There's a good straight left down the pipe with authority. Amaro just throwing that thing with some heat on it. Amaro finding a home for these left hands down the pipe. And there it is again, creating pressure, sucking them up against the cage, getting those hips out, stepping over. Good pressure here. Worth it, just working, just grinding it out. Just not letting Brando to move. And these punches don't seem like a lot, but it keeps him from getting to his knees. He constantly has to be going back to his back position, go through these punches. Great crossface. That's good pressure from Mark Worth. Trying to set this choke up. And back to his feet. See if Brando can do anything with this to get off of this cage and get some space and work some of that stand-up. 1 minute, 18 seconds left, but we've seen this 3 or 4 times. Gonna suck those hips up, pull him up away from the cage, get him to sit down on his bottom, suck those hips away, turn the corner, and get him flattened out. Now in the mount position. Let's see if Morrow can go to work with 30 seconds left. Moves on the armbar. That's in there deep. That could be finished. And what great defense. Oh no. That could be done. Fighting his way out of that. Going belly down. Needs to step over and does. What transitional work for Morrow. I thought that might have been finished for sure. And that happens that fast. Brando Morrow almost finished that. I thought it was finished at a couple points. There's that nasty left. Doesn't finish that up. Front snap kick. Finally a good takedown from Morrow. Sets this up to finish, steps over. That armbar right there looked like it was done good, and a good job of getting the arms out of there. And right here looks like it was finished. Oh my gosh, that arm's gonna be sore. Battles out of that. Goes belly down, steps over. Amazing work.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of junior flyweight action here in Reno, Nevada, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge A scores this bout 29-28, Amaro. Judge B, 29-28, Worth. And finally, Judge C, 29-28, for your winner by split decision, from Fresno, California, Mark the Wolf Ware. Ladies and gentlemen, from the sensational Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present this special 3-round bout in the women's strawweight division. Your referee in charge of the action, Cecil Peoples. Introducing first in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, official weight 115.4 pounds. She represents King's Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tulare, California, presenting Jennifer Grijalva. Her opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, also stands at 5 feet 2 inches tall. Official weight 114.4 pounds. She represents Standalone MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, from Chico, California, presenting Valerie the Violator Wong.
And both of these ladies coming out, marching out to the center of the ring. Long taking down Grijalva. No problem, trying to set up an armbar here, bashing away. Jennifer doing a good job of bashing from the bottom. Long with the good pass, goes knee on the face. Opposite leg, turning the wrong way. Grijalva just trying to turn away. That's a wrong direction. She's gonna have to turn into her. Didn't quite work. Knees to the shoulder. Long trying to flatten her out. Now stepping over into the mount position with a lot of time left. Long needs to push off her face, create some space, get some power on these punches. Finally pops her head out. Long just bashing away, needs to pop her head out. This is exactly how you get stood up from here, turning over. Now pops out, trying to work those hips. Going old school key lock, which is a hard position to get. Steps over. Just bashing, danger of getting a knee to the head. 1 minute left. Let's see if Wong might be able to finish something here. Finally, let's go that key lock. Going knees to the belly. Just grinding away with these knees. Needs to get that right hand out of there, put some pressure on the head. 30 seconds left. It's a really, really tough position here to improve on. Consistent with that key lock, just not being able to get into the right position. You really have to soften somebody up at this level. Finally stepping over, bashing away with 10 seconds left. Smashing. Looks like Jennifer might make it out of this round, but she's getting bashed up right here by Wong. Barely makes it out of this first round. Wong just dominant on top. Take a look at this replay, and this was pretty much the entirety of the first 3 minutes of this fight. Feller and Wong just dominating from this side control. Not doing a whole heck of a lot of damage, but just controlling this top position, steps over into the mount with a few seconds left and lets him go. Just working. If she would have done this maybe 30 seconds earlier, this fight might be over. And here we go, round 2. Look at these ladies coming out to the center of the ring. 1-2, immediately closing that distance. Valerie Wong trying to set this head arm up. Good pressure on the inside. Good knees to the inside. Jennifer trying to work that trip throw, but not working. Good hits from Wong. And there's a good double leg, but defended well. And then finally relentless with that takedown. Trying to pull that leg out. Long trying to pass into the mount. Finally does. Pops her head out. Let's see if she can go to work. Jennifer's going to have to get out of here. She was in all kinds of trouble in the last round and from this position. Giving up her back now. Both hooks in. Riding a little bit high. Long trying to work that choke, and it's in, and it's done, and it's over. Valerie Wong finishing strong. Just patient, softening Jennifer up. That left arm's underneath there, bashing away, and there's the tap, and it's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 1 minute and 41 seconds of round number 2. Your winner from tap out by way of a rear naked choke, Valerie the Violator Wong. Here is Ryan Hollywood Hamilton.
And there he is, Ryan Hamilton, making his way to the cage here tonight. Silver Legacy Casino in Reno, Nevada. We are back. And this is sort of a historical night. We haven't been here in quite some time, and it has to have been at least 6-7 years, if not more. And we originally had lots of MMA events here, so it is like a reunion here tonight. And seeing the fans here is what's making it so exciting. Seeing these amateurs get in the cage here at Future Legends 34. Now, Ryan Hollywood Hamilton out of Chico, California, 27 years old, standing at 5 feet 11 inches tall, and he's got that nice reach of 71 inches. And of course, this is in the middleweight division as he gets set to take on JJ Torres. Cecil Peoples doing the final checkups here tonight at the gate, as we like to call it, sort of MMA TSA, making sure these guys are coming in clean, coming in perfect, making it a fair fight, of course, 100%. Tonight's event is being brought to you in part by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. And of course, Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. And here we go. Hamilton making his way to the cage in this middleweight matchup. We throw it to Dean Stone to get JJ Torres center stage.
Here is JJ, the Sacred Warrior Torres.
JJ Torres now making his way to the cage, 30 years old, standing at 5 feet 10 inches tall, 70-inch reach, and of course only an inch reach difference between these two. JJ Torres, we know, has that solid hands and obviously can take out his opponents very quickly. And once before had a chance at the amateur title. I believe he was, lost to a knockout. And I'm sure he's learned a lot from that loss. I mean, he's come back out here really strong, really bringing it to his opponents. And he's a force to be reckoned here with tonight against Ryan Hamilton. JJ Torres with a plenty of amount of experience, set to take on Ryan Hamilton in this middleweight matchup in our co-main event of the evening. We throw it to the veteran voice of the cage, Dean Stone, to get this middleweight matchup underway. Brought to you by General Tire. Anywhere is possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present our co-featured bout of the evening. Sanctioned by UMAF President Frank Babcock, Regional Director Ralph Cook. Is in conjunction with King of the Cage Incorporated, President and Founder Terry Trebilcock Jr., Matchmaker Al Jocelyn, Promoter Jeff Mahalik. The three judges scoring this bout will be James Franchier, Randy Partain, and Wade Vieira. After the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action from Roseville, California, David Shirley. And now, fight fans, here we go. Put your hands together for our co-feature of the evening. 3 rounds of MMA at a catch weight of 195 pounds. Introducing first, in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, official weight 186.4 pounds. This amateur fighter is 2-2 so far in his career. Ladies and gentlemen, from Chico, California, presenting Ryan Hollywood Hamilton. Here's opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall, official weight 196 pounds. This Torres MMA sport fighter has an amateur record of 10 victories with 3 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the pride of South Lake Tahoe, California, JJ, the Sacred Warrior Torres.
And here we go, round 1. Ryan Hamilton with an amateur record of 2-2. And JJ Torres possessing a lot of wins in the cage with a record of 10-3. Remember, JJ Torres is in the red tape gloves, and Ryan Hamilton in the blue tape gloves. Hamilton trying to end things here quickly. But this is obviously a situation JJ Torres has been in many times, nothing new. This is almost like another day at the office for Torres, but he's in a little bit of danger, and not so much anymore now, as he rolls out of it. Hamilton just delivering some nice punishment to the knees, trying to soften him up a bit here. Drops down, tries to grab that single leg, gets him to the ground, now taking the back of JJ Torres. Torres being very cautious here. And now working him up against the cage, looking to pick him up, looking possibly for a slam here. And a great job done by securing more position here by JJ Torres. Not out of the woods quite yet. but better than he was, obviously. David Shirley, our ref for this matchup. And he's going to break it up and give him a clean break here. Hamilton immediately shoots in for that double leg, and he gets it. And now he will work from side control. Now we know this is where he's wanted to be. This is where what he's been trying to do the entire round here. So we'll see what he has, what he's going to pull out of his toolbox here. And that's exactly what we were talking about. Torres has got those heavy hands. Hamilton's probably like, you know what? I am not going to risk that tonight. I'm going to go with what I know, what I'm comfortable with, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to try and suck him up again. And now taking the back of Torres. Almost. 34 seconds remains. Here we go, clean break once again. 10 seconds remains. Torres looking to unwind here. Those heavy hands. That's exactly what Ryan Hamilton needs to be careful of, and that is a great round for Hamilton. Controlling the majority of the round here. You can see that shoots in for that takedown. Torres almost slips back out. He gets back up to his feet. And was caught in a little bit of danger here, but this is where Hamilton scoops him up, goes for that double leg and gets it, starts working from side control from this position, and ultimately would control that round. In the blue corner, and Ryan Hamilton in the red corner. And here we go. So we saw in round one, Ryan Hamilton was able to control the pace of the round. JJ Torres was controlled on the ground and probably going to want to keep it on the feet, but Hamilton, like I said, isn't going to play with that game. He's not going to play into it. And you can see that he's going to try and take this to the ground, but Torres is doing a good job of defending that takedown attempt. And right now you can see that Torres is getting a little bit winded here, and rightfully so. I mean, you could just see that Hamilton is just continuing to smother him. And an overhand right by Torres, which may cost him, but now may not. Torres trying to turn things around here. Now getting an opportunity to utilize those heavy hands. Torres just looking to get in there and release him. Hamilton may look to want to try and get this to the ground. This is the last place you want to be with Torres. The background that this guy possesses with his father being a champ and, you know, and many other arts of this sport. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe his dad had a boxing championship background or kickboxing, one of the two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is one of the two. And I mean, martial arts, if you think about it, goes to the roots of JJ Torres. And those hands, he really utilizes them every time he gets in the cage. And they are very effective. Trying to wind up. This is a very dangerous position for Hamilton to be in. And I think Torres is starting to smell some blood here. He's really starting to open up. Look at that. More shots. Hamilton dazed. Torres looking to finish it. Oh, and a nice body shot. What combinations being displayed, and I think this is it. David Shirley steps in. JJ Torres comes back victorious. You know, we saw that in round one. Things were being controlled by Hamilton. Hamilton knew that he had to take it to the ground, and he did for the better part of it. But man, it was no match for the hands of JJ Torres. Take a look at this. Starts it off, I think, with that body shot right there. That's what starts slowing him down. Takes the wind out of him. Another right, and right here, this is closing the deal right here. Let's take a look at another angle here. Just bam. Hamilton just trying to bob and weave. No place to go but into the mat. And David Shirley steps in. What a great job done by Torres. We throw it to Dean Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee in charge, David Shirley, has seen enough, steps in, calls a halt to this bout due to strikes. The official time, 2 minutes, 25 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO, the pride of South Lake Tahoe, California, JJ, the Sacred Warrior, Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Silver Legacy Resort Casino, Reno, Nevada, King of the Cage and General Tire present our featured bout of the evening. Sanctioned by UMAF, President Frank Babcock, Regional Director Ralph Cook. It's in conjunction with King of the Cage Incorporated, President and Founder Terry Trevilcock Jr., Matchmaker Al Jocelyn, Promoter Jeff Mahalik, Timekeeper at the bell, Rose Fain. The 3 judges scoring this match will be James Van Sheer, Randy Partain, and Wade Vieira. After the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action from Tarzana, California, Cecil Peoples. And now, for all the fight fans in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. This is our main event of the evening. 3 rounds of MMA in the super heavyweight division. Introducing first, in the Lucas Oil blue corner, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 291 pounds. This team synergy fighter has competed in 19 amateur bouts. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tacoma, Washington, presenting Josh the Hilltop Sasquatch Bonner. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of our General Tire red corner, stands at 6 feet 5 inches tall, official weight 255 pounds. This Tonkin Fight Team combatant has an amateur record of 9 victories with 6 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, from right here in Reno, Nevada, presenting Matt Big Sugar McCrary.
And here we go. We are set. The matchup between Josh Bonner and Matthew McCrary. Matthew McCrary in the red gloves and Josh Bonner in the blue gloves. McCrary just looking to size him up here. And starts releasing some shots. Josh Bonner. Nice little ear punches there. Those are, obviously effective. It's sort of like a gnat bothering you. It's like, get off, get off. And obviously, little diversion tactics being displayed by Bonner. McCrary just looking for this takedown. And Bonner just continues with those ear punches, man. He's going to have some nice little swollen ears there in the morning for McCrary. Bonner trying to defend this takedown attempt. McCrary with a type of head and arm here. But Bonner's doing a good job of deflecting this by continuing to stay up against cage. Now he looks to go to the ground, but McCrary spins around. And now Bonner looking to do some damage here. Spins around and starts opening up those heavy hands, and now slinging some heavy leather is McCrary. I think Bonner is in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, this could be the beginning of the end. Yeah, that's it. This has got to be over at this point. Cecil Peoples giving him every chance, but man, I don't think Bonner wants no more of McCrary's heavy hands. That is it. Short night for Matthew McCrary. Let's take a look at this replay, man. He just rolled over and just said, you know what? No, man, this is it. And all he had, he basically had to weather the storm at this point and wait for Cecil to step in. Here's a look at another angle. You can see right here, he immediately gave up, covered up, knew he was in trouble, and said, that's it. And McCrary just goes to work, swarms him, and that's it. Cecil Peoples steps in and calls a halt to the action.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee in charge, Cecil Peoples has seen enough. Steps in, calls a halt to this bout due to strikes. The official time, 1 minute, 50 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by TKO, Big Sugar, Matt McCrary.